Oh, there. Holy. There's no way. Bro. There's like overgrowth on her and everything. She's right there.
1. The figure in the fog. A peaceful family hike through Olympia's misty forest trails took an unsettling turn when they decided to review photos taken by the sister, an avid nature photographer. Known for her patience, she had lingered behind the group to capture that one perfect shot. But what stood out later wasn't a majestic tree or a rare bird. At the far end of one frame, a figure stood completely still, nearly blending into the mist. Its shape was unclear, but it held something, long and heavy, maybe an axe or a scythe. There hadn't been anyone else on the trail, no warning, no sound, just a quiet presence in the fog. Had this figure been there the whole time, watching, waiting? Or was it something more than human? 2. Watched in the mist. Deep in a fog-covered forest, a hiker sensed something was off. There was no sound, no movement, just that eerie quiet that settles right before something happens. With a growing sense of unease, he started recording on his phone. What the camera caught was bone-chilling. A tall, dark silhouette loomed in the distance, not moving, not reacting. As he kept walking, more of these figures began to appear, faint, almost blending into the mist. Were they all the same person, or something else entirely? The sensation of being watched grew unbearable. He didn't wait to find out. He turned around and got out of there. 3. Phantom of the rainforest. Two friends pitched a tent in a lush, remote rainforest, completely unaware their night was about to take a terrifying turn. Everything was quiet. The evening went by normally. Tent up, a warm meal, and off to sleep. But what the outside camera captured told a different story. In the dead of night, a pale figure emerged from the trees. It didn't look quite human. It held something, maybe a decapitated head, or something equally disturbing, and stood unnaturally still. By morning, the friends were fine. They had no idea how close they'd come to something possibly not from this world. Only later, after reviewing the footage, did they realize what had been lurking just beyond the tree line. 4. Shadow beside me. While scrolling through camping photos, a group of friends noticed something strange in one shot. Next to one of them stood a shadowy figure, specifically what looked like the upper half of a woman. No one else had been there at the time. There was no one behind them, no optical illusion that could explain it. It wasn't just a flicker or blur. The figure was clear and distinct. And the creepiest part? No one remembered seeing anything or anyone nearby. Was it a ghost, a trick of the light, or did they unknowingly capture something they weren't meant to see? 5. Playing dead. One hiker had a heart-pounding encounter that would make most freeze. In a quiet part of the woods, something moved in the trees. Big, black, and silent. A bear, and not just any bear, a massive one. Instead of running, the hiker dropped to the ground and played dead. It was the only chance. The bear circled, sniffed, and even nudged his foot as if testing if he was truly lifeless. Time stretched endlessly, but eventually, the bear moved on. The hiker stayed still until he was sure it was safe. He had come face to face with nature's raw power and lived to tell the tale. 6. The trail camera children. A woman set up a trail camera deep in the Tennessee woods where her friend used to hike until he passed away in June. After his death, she decided to review the footage just for peace of mind. What she saw left her shaken. There, behind her friend in one clip, were two small, childlike figures. They weren't animals. They weren't other hikers. She believed they were spirits, ones that had tormented her friend until his final days. The video gave her chills, and to this day, no one has explained who or what those children were. 7. The Ontario Howl. October 3rd, 2019. A group of hunters were moving through the forests of Ontario when a sound stopped them cold. A deep, guttural scream echoed through the trees, not once, but over and over again. Raw, agonized. It didn't sound like any known animal. The group froze, trying to listen, to understand. But whatever made that sound never showed itself. The screams lasted for minutes, fading into silence. Some say it was a wounded creature. Others aren't so sure. 8. Cemetery snapshot. At a cemetery in Hannibal, Missouri, a father and his son were just taking casual photos during a visit. It was a cloudy afternoon, quiet and still, with leaves rustling gently underfoot. They weren't ghost hunters or thrill seekers, just a family walking through a historic graveyard, paying respects and enjoying a peaceful moment together. The boy had brought his new camera, excited to test it out, and was snapping random pictures along the path, pausing now and then to capture the older, more weathered headstones. Nothing about the day felt strange. There was no eerie wind, no chilling sounds, just the occasional crow and the faint creak of branches. They laughed, talked, and admired how beautiful and calm the cemetery looked under the overcast sky. But later that evening, as they flipped through the images at home, one photo brought the mood to a full stop. In the picture, the boy was standing near a row of headstones, smiling at the camera, but behind him, partially obscured by a leaning gravestone, stood a figure. It wasn't blurred or shadowed by trees. It was clear, still, watching. The figure wore what looked like a long, dark coat with a high collar and trousers that didn't quite match anything modern. The clothing was distinctly old-fashioned, maybe 1800s or earlier. The posture was rigid, almost military, and the expression, neutral, but unmistakably aware of the camera. Neither the father nor the son remembered seeing anyone else nearby. No footsteps, no voices, no signs of another visitor. And the figure hadn't appeared in any of the shots taken just seconds before or after. Just that one. Almost like it had chosen to be seen. They even showed the photo to a few locals, one of whom claimed the spot had long been rumored to be haunted by a Civil War soldier who'd never left his post. Others dismissed it as a clever illusion. But for the father, the photo changed something. All his life, ghost stories had been just that. Stories. Fun to tell. Easy to forget. But 9. Haunted paper mill. Urban explorers. Kenneth and Justin headed into an old paper mill in Austin, Pennsylvania. Locals said it was haunted, filled with strange noises and shadowy figures. They laughed it off until they got inside. In the dark, under the mill, they discovered bones, real ones. Then came the voices. A child's voice echoed from the shadows. Then something moved behind them, caught on camera. That was it. They bolted. The fear in their voices was real. Haunted or not, that mill changed their minds forever.
I think that place is haunted.
Oh yeah, most definitely. The paper mill's fucking haunted as shit. Because I went there the one night, me and my buddies. We all went over there and we were drinking a little bit, but
Yeah.
like, I was like 2 beers in and I'm like, dude, I must be like...
Oh shit, it's bubbling it out. It's burping probably. It's probably just burping.
Good. Anyways,
Yeah.
I saw some, I was like 2 beers in and I'm like, I can't be this drunk already. Like, for shit to start moving off the walls, and then my buddy caught it on camera that like something ran behind us.
No kidding.
On Snapchat, like he caught it on camera and everything.
Holy smokes. Oh, oh, oh. What was that? Hello? Yep, get the fuck out of there! Holy! Yep, no more of that shit. Did you hear that? Oh yeah. What was that?
10. The Shadow Friend. A family had captured a sweet photo of their daughter walking in the woods. It was one of those quiet, peaceful moments, golden sunlight filtering through the trees. The little girl just a few steps ahead on the trail, arms swinging, completely carefree. Nothing seemed off at the time. The parents had called her name, she turned and smiled, and everything about the hike had felt normal. But later, when they scrolled through the pictures at home, one image made them stop cold. The girl was looking directly at something or someone ahead of her. Her posture had shifted slightly in that frame. She wasn't just strolling. She looked focused, as if acknowledging someone in her path. And just beyond where she stood near the edge of the trail was a shadowy figure, vague but visible. Not a tree, not a trick of the light. A shape, upright, still. Too tall to be another child, too dark to be explained by sunlight alone. No one else had been on that trail, at least not within eyesight, and when the parents zoomed in, the figure didn't become clearer. It remained blurry, undefined, yet undeniably present, almost as if it didn't want to be seen too clearly, just noticed enough. What struck them even more was how familiar it felt. Not the figure, but the situation. 11. The Bear Test. This one's wild. A man hiking through remote forest land spotted a massive black bear. Instead of panicking, he did the unthinkable. He dropped to the ground and went completely still. The bear circled him for a few tense moments, sniffed, and even nudged his leg, almost like it was checking if he was faking. Then it slowly wandered off. That hiker walked away with nothing but a story and a newfound respect for survival instincts. 12 Coyote Circle. Winter camping in December sounds magical until it's not. One camper took his puppy, Belle, into the forest for a peaceful night. As darkness fell, coyotes started howling in the distance. At first, it was eerie but manageable. Then the howls grew louder, closer. Soon he realized he was surrounded. The pack didn't attack, but they didn't leave either. He stayed calm, mostly for Belle's sake, and waited. All night, the tension hung thick in the air. At dawn, he packed up fast and left. It was a reminder that nature doesn't always let you relax, especially when predators are near.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like it's safe to say they're pretty close.
13. The Dementia Disappearance. During a bike ride in Whitefish, Montana, two riders passed a man in a white shirt and glasses. He didn't respond when they called out, not once. Something about him felt off. They even joked about him looking like a serial killer. Later, they encountered a frantic woman searching for her husband, who had dementia. Her description matched the man they saw. Realizing their mistake, they rushed back to find him. After a long, anxious search, they found him in a different parking lot, confused but safe, with the family dog by his side. What began as a casual ride turned into a rescue. and a powerful reminder not to judge too quickly.
We're being pretty far back in the park when we noticed a man up ahead. He was wearing a white shirt and glasses, walking by himself. We called out to him that we were coming up on his left. He didn't react at all. So we called out again, hey, we're coming up on your left, excuse me, no reaction. Third time, no reaction, which I thought it was odd. Odd enough for me to make a comment, something along the lines of, wow, that guy was creepy, or talk about a serial killer. There, in the same parking lot, standing by himself, surrounded in the same amount of people, was this man wandering around with the dog by his side.
Wow, he's here. Hi, Pep.
14. Mary the Possessed Doll. A doll named Mary had been buried deep in the woods by a group of paranormal investigators. Later, they returned to check if it was still there. It was, but the soil around it had been disturbed, like something tried to claw its way out. The ground wasn't just shifted, it was ripped open in jagged streaks, as if small hands had dragged upward from beneath. The investigators stood still, scanning the shadows between the trees, noticing how unusually cold the air felt around the burial site. Leaves that covered the forest floor hours earlier were now pushed aside in uneven piles, forming a subtle trail leading away from the mound.
Oh, there? Holy there's no way. Bro. There's like overgrowth on her and everything. She's right there. Mary's right there. Patty. What does that mean? What does Patty mean? She's gonna say one more thing and I'm getting out of here. Like, I don't feel safe here.
The doll's glassy eyes were peeking through the dirt, half exposed, staring upward with a hollow expression that seemed different from before. The head tilted slightly, almost as if it had moved on its own since the last visit. As they debated whether to rebury it, a faint giggle drifted through the woods, not playful, more like a child hiding behind a tree and waiting to be found. But no footsteps followed, no movement, just a single laugh, quickly swallowed by silence. Moments later, whispers began to flow between the branches, overlapping softly as though multiple voices were speaking at once. 15. Grizzly Ambush. 4 college wrestlers were out searching for antlers in Wyoming's Shoshone National Forest. Then, a grizzly attacked. Brandon was the first hit, slammed against a tree. His friend Kendall fought the bear barehanded to save him. It turned on Kendall next, biting and mauling before disappearing into the trees. Despite their injuries, one needing over 60 staples, they made it out alive. It was teamwork and quick thinking that saved them, and a level of bravery most can't even imagine.
The bear came running out of the trees. I didn't even see it until it was right in front of me, but I heard the crashing, and the only thing I could yell was, "Bear, bear!" And I yelled bear, and the bear tackled me first.
And then with its head pushed me on the ground all the way up against the trees, and then kind of pinned me up there, and it was attacking me for a second. I was putting my hands in its mouth and stuff so it wouldn't be chewing on my neck and everything. I called out to Brady. I was like, "Brady, you all right? Where you at, Brady?" And then I didn't hear nothing from Brady, but I heard the bear kind of grunting behind me, and I heard it walking. And then I saw it again, and it came and it attacked me again. 16. Voices in the Pines. A solo camper set up deep in the woods for a quiet night under the stars. Everything felt normal until the voices began. At first they were faint, like whispers carried on the wind, then clearer. It sounded like 2 or 3 people talking in the distance, but no one was there. As a storm rolled in, the voices didn't fade. They grew louder, blending with the wind and creaking trees. Heavy objects started crashing nearby, things too big to be falling naturally. When he checked his footage later, something was caught moving just outside his tent. He still can't explain what it was, and honestly,
Some things are better left unexplained.
Jadi sekarang di luar kondisinya hujan lebat banget. Ngeri banget ketika di hutan begini gue sendiri dan hujan. Dan ini badai teman-teman. Kayak anginnya deras banget gitu loh. Gue khawatir aja ada pohon-pohon yang tumbang sih di sekitar sini. Ini belum reda-reda teman-teman. Ini udah jam, kalian bisa lihat. Ini udah deket jam 1 loh teman-teman. Hujannya nggak reda-reda. Gue dari tadi cuma bisa baring-baring, nggak bisa tidur teman-teman. Gue baring-baring, cuma bisa lihat-lihat foto, denger musik. Nggak ada jaringan di sini. Ya udah, begini doang. Dan di sini gue ngerasa cukup horror banget men. Hujan-hujan begini gue banyak banget denger kayak patah morgana suara di hutan gitu. Gue denger kayak langkah kaki ngedeketin, kayak
17th Highway Watcher. At a quiet gas station late at night, a camper spotted something strange just beyond the pumps. The place was almost abandoned. Just the low hum of the fluorescent lights, the occasional rattle of wind through the nearby trees, and the distant whir of a vending machine that hadn't been used in hours. The camper had pulled in to top off the tank and maybe grab a snack, not expecting anything unusual. But out of the corner of his eye, something moved near the edge of the tree line. A tall, thin figure stepped out, moving on 2 legs, but in a way that was off. It didn't walk. It glided, limbs too long, posture too rigid. The figure stopped under the edge of a flickering light, and just for a moment it was illuminated by the passing beams of a car driving down the road. 18. The Vanished Hiker. In a mysterious video reportedly found in an abandoned car deep in the desert, a woman had recorded what was supposed to be a scenic solo hike. The footage is peaceful at first, just her voice, her steps, the vastness of nature. Then the video cuts off without warning. The woman, never seen again. The only thing left was her camera, discovered inside the locked car, and a chilling question no one has been able to answer. What really happened out there? 19. Eyes in the trees. Some hikers get the feeling they're being watched. This one had proof. He was exploring a dense forest when that sensation crept in. The subtle alertness, the tightening in the chest. He turned on his camera's torch and scanned the shadows. That's when he saw it, eyes blinking behind the bushes. Something was back there, tall, still, watching. He didn't stay to ask questions. He bolted, and when he reviewed the footage later, the figure was real, and it was closer than he remembered. 20. Tent in the Tempest. A camper had set up on a hill, expecting nothing more than a light breeze. But as night fell, a violent storm rolled in. Winds exceeded 60 miles per hour, shaking the tent like it was made of paper. He clung to the frame all night, hoping it wouldn't tear apart or fly away. Sleep wasn't an option, just survival. By morning, the storm hadn't let up. Packing up was another battle, with gear blowing in every direction. Making it back to the car felt like a second hike through chaos, but he made it, and he'll never underestimate mountain weather again. 21st Halloween Apparition. Late one Halloween night in Lockport, New York, a group of friends wandered near the entrance to a local cave. Someone snapped a photo just for fun. No one saw anything weird at the time, but when they looked at the picture the next day, there was a figure standing at the cave's entrance. The group had walked through that exact spot seconds later, laughing and talking, with no idea that something or someone had been watching them from the dark. 22. Fort Fisher Shadows. While exploring Fort Fisher Battlefield in North Carolina, a man took a few quick photos of the historical site. But when he looked back through the images, he noticed something strange. 2 shadowy figures had appeared, no hats, no reflections, no explanation, and they weren't where they should have been. Fort Fisher, with its deep Civil War history, has long been rumored to be haunted. Were these spirits of fallen soldiers? The photos definitely raised questions that history books can't answer. 23. giggling in the dark. Mitty and his brother were camping in the Peak District. It was just another chill night in the tent. Nothing strange, no bumps, no fear, just laughter and conversation. But when they checked the footage later, something made their blood run cold.
I don't know what to say, Phil. The original video.
A giggle, a child's voice, clear, loud, close. They hadn't heard it that night. They would have remembered. It was the kind of sound that doesn't belong in a dark forest, especially when there were no children anywhere near their camp. 24th figure in the trees. In the dense woods of Mexico, a man hiking at night spotted something bizarre up in the trees. It had a humanoid shape, but the way it moved, the way it perched, it wasn't normal. He caught it on camera, its eyes glowing faintly from the light. It stayed high above, motionless, as if studying him. Most people run from things on the ground. He found himself backing away from something above. 25th Festival Windstorm. At a multi-day festival, campers set up their tents for a fun overnight stay. But many were first-timers and forgot a crucial step, staking down their tents. That mistake became obvious when a sudden gust of wind ripped through the campgrounds. Tents took off like balloons, belongings flying through the air. People ran, shouted, laughed, and panicked. It was chaotic and dangerous, a real reminder that Mother Nature doesn't care if you're trying to vibe out to music. Preparation matters, even at a festival. 26. The Trail of Forgotten Messages. Using the Randonautica app, Tom and Alicia set their intention to find something mysterious. The coordinates led them deep into the woods, and that's where things got weird. At first, it was just a peaceful forest trail. Birds chirping, the crunch of leaves beneath their shoes, the occasional spiderweb brushing across their faces. But then, the air shifted. It got quiet. Too quiet. They spotted the first sign nailed to a crooked tree. It looked like a normal fishing regulation notice, but the language was oddly aggressive. "All anglers must be members," was scrawled in bold. But someone had scratched over parts of the message, and it almost read like a threat. It didn't feel like it belonged out there. They joked about it at first. Tom even laughed. Maybe it's just a warning to turn back. But Alicia wasn't so sure. As they moved further in, another sign came into view. This one was duct taped to a tree trunk, barely hanging on. Most of the text had faded, like it had been there for years, but what little was left suggested it once held a message. Maybe a name, maybe a date. It was impossible to tell. Still, the uneasy feeling grew stronger. Then came the noise, a soft rustling off to the right. At first they thought it was a squirrel, maybe a deer, but it stopped when they stopped, started when they started. Something, or someone, was keeping pace. But finally, after what felt like forever, the trail widened and opened near the roadside. They didn't speak until they were back in the car, doors locked, windows up. Whatever was out there, it hadn't wanted company, and it definitely hadn't wanted them to leave. It all came down to one thing: making it out alive. If you made it this far, you're clearly someone who appreciates a good mystery, a chilling encounter, or a raw survival tale. So don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our next deep dive into the unknown. Got a story of your own? Something that happened on a trail, during a campout, or a time when you felt something just wasn't right? Share it in the comments below. You never know, we might feature your encounter in an upcoming episode. And if you're brave enough for more, check out our channel's playlist of paranormal investigations, survival stories, and true unexplained events. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, When you're deep in the woods, sometimes it's not just the animals watching you.